I am ready to sacrifice my life to protect the dignity of the nation as well as the country. A statement by the President.
Political Operations Office of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa declared open in Battaramulla.
SLFP Central Committee decides that disciplinary action must be taken against anyone that acts against the party and the party leadership.
Presidential Commission of Inquiry receives complaints on 5,600 soldiers who had gone missing during the war. Certificates of absentia be issued in lieu of death certificates.
Negligence by event organisers cost Anuradha Indrajit Kure his marathon gold medal at the South Asian Games.
Hello there, a very good evening and welcome to your Primetime News Bulletin with me, Shane Silva, and my co-anchor Stephanie Lazarus. So very good evening, Stephanie.
A very good evening to you, Shane, and a very good evening to all our viewers joining us tonight. Before we take a look at our top story tonight, just a reminder to our viewers that you can follow us on our Twitter handle at Newsfirst_EN and join the conversation by using the hashtags featured on each of our stories tonight. President Maithripala Sirisena today declared open a ready-mixed concrete factory in Balangoda.
Concrete light posts are manufactured at this company, which operates under Malaysian technology. Minister of Power and Renewable Energy Ranjit Siambalapitiya, Telecommunications and Digital Infrastructure Minister Harin Fernando, Mass Media Deputy Minister Karuna Ratna Paranivithana and Labour and Trade Union Relations Minister WDJ Seniviratna were among those present for the event. The government's policies are taken up at certain debates in society. The media speaks of this because of the flow of the cabinet and the parliament. Some matters are true and some matters are false. While some matters are accepted, I also reject some of those claims. The people of this country brought me to power to take the country forward, not to take the country backward, as said by the political rivals. We need to strengthen local industries and create a market for local products and also produce all the necessary equipment the people use locally. We need to revive our international markets that slumped below 1% and strengthen those avenues. We must strengthen the local inventor, the local engineer and the local intellectuals to make Sri Lanka the most proud nation in the world. The government has undertaken that responsibility. I am ready to sacrifice my life to protect the dignity of the nation as well as the country while not bowing down to any foreign influence. We do not follow orders and we are not influenced nor threatened. Even though some political leaders state through various newspapers that there are foreign influences, there is no any type of influence and the present government had to face the results of their wrong actions.
On to another story that made the headlines tonight. Now, a coordinating office of former President and current parliamentarian Mahinda Rajapaksa was declared open down Nelum Mawatha in Jayantipura, Battaramulla today.
The office was opened at the auspicious time of 9:33 this morning by the former President. Pirit was chanted to bless the office by the Venerable Mahasangha, including the chief incumbent of the Abhirama temple in Narayanpita, Venerable Muruthettuwe Ananda Thero. Subsequently, other religious leaders also added their blessings. Representatives of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, the Alliance and other political parties, artists and supporters were present for the occasion. MP Bandula Gunawardena spoke on behalf of the group of MPs that represent the Sri Lanka Freedom Party.
This location will serve as the headquarters to provide leadership to the people who will come together against the imperial attacks on Mahinda Rajapaksa and the war heroes. With the opening of this new office, we will be able to organize our journey ahead. We will give a message to the whole nation that we are undertaking a true journey. This is a journey to drive away the United National Party from power. There is a police station at Temple Trees called the FCID. That police steers everything and acts on the complaints made by only Ranil Wickremesinghe, the Prime Minister. This police creates a chairman for companies. That is what Sagar Ratnaik also says.
Oh, වික්‍රමසිංහ කියන එක සාකර රත්නායකත් කියනවා. මම වෙනද සාමාන්‍ය මාධ්‍ය ගානකොට
When I usually speak about the media, I criticize the heads of those media institutions. However, now even provincial correspondents are being threatened. Even their names are now mentioned in parliament. I call them via telephone, but when I do, they are afraid to even take the call. Because you never know who it would be. It may be from the police, CID, or from some other institution which collects information. Representatives of those institutions are also here and they are listening to what should be reported. That is their duty.
On your developing story tonight, the Central Committee of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party has decided that disciplinary action must be taken against anyone who acts against the party and the party leadership. It was also decided that the disciplinary committee of the SLFP would take further action in this regard.
The Central Committee of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party convened this evening at the President's official residence. The meeting was presided over by President Maithripala Sirisena. Steps related to disciplinary action that needs to be taken by the party was discussed at the meeting. Subsequently, those who attended the meeting expressed the following to the media. If a claim to recognize them as a separate group is endorsed, the identity of the party would be lost. The majority opinion was that the existence of a separate group would cause an obstruction to the party in parliament. There cannot be any separate party of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. There is no issue in developing any party. If they want to create a party, they must first step away from this party and engage in forming that party. That was the decision of the Central Committee. There are two views. There is a request made to be recognized as a separate group in Parliament. The Central Committee of the party decided that they are misusing the compassion. Therefore, the Central Committee of the Sri Lankan Freedom Party would permit any other group to operate. A proposal was also made to take strict action with regard to discipline as well. General Secretary of the SLFP, Duminda Dissanayaka, said that the 10 local government politicians who were asked to provide reasons as to why disciplinary action should not be taken against them, only one had done so. We request them to provide us with reason, and only Saman Lal had forwarded his reasons. According to the party constitution, they can only be given a period of 14 days to do so. However, the Central Committee of the party decided to invite them for another round of inquiry and reach a decision thereafter.
In addition, Attorney-at-Law Rajapaksa Kodithuaku has been appointed as the President's Special Representative at the Sri Lanka Freedom Party office. Attorney-at-Law Rajapaksa Kodithuaku also serves as the President's Coordinating Secretary.
The State Minister of Defence Ruwan Wijewardena inspected the road leading to the Kotunna Sri Devamitta Yogashrama in Biyagama this morning.
The State Minister today inspected the renovations on the road that was in a dilapidated state for over a period of time. The joint opposition, including the former President Mahinda Rajapaksa and the former Secretary of Defence, are alleging that we are going to raise questions and arrest the war heroes through the Geneva Human Rights Resolution. They allege that the government would support the arrests. This is a false allegation. The UN Human Rights Chief, Prince Zaid, arrived here and directly said that there is no such thing and it is the responsibility of Sri Lanka to act on this.
Chairman of the Presidential Commission to investigate into complaints regarding missing persons, Maxwell Parnagama, says that 5,600 complaints have been filed on behalf of security forces personnel who are said to have gone missing during the period of the conflict in Sri Lanka.
Speaking in an exclusive interview to Newsfirst on the sidelines of next Monday's expiration of the mandate of the Commission, the Commission chairman also said they had recommended that certificates of absentia be issued in lieu of death certificates on behalf of persons who had gone missing.
We got 5,600 complaints from one association connected with our security forces that there were 5,600 soldiers missing. That still we have not begun any inquiry.
The Presidential Commission of Inquiry was appointed by Extraordinary Gazette number 1823/42 dated 15th August 2013 under Section 2 of the Commission of Inquiry Act. Two interim reports were tendered in 2015 to President Maithripala Sirisena. Chairman of the Commission, Maxwell Parnagama, who stated that there are around 12,000 complaints left to inquire and investigate, noted that a period of between 12 to 18 months would be required to complete investigations.
Well, we have about another 12,000 complaints to inquire and investigate. We requested a period of 12 months or 18 months for us to complete. The Red Cross came before us and said that in some countries, instead of the death certificate, they issue a certificate of absence, because they said that to issue a death certificate against a person who is not still determined dead is unreasonable, and it may have some mental effect on the relations. To issue a certificate of absence which have the same legal power as the death certificate, for them to attend to their legal needs that arise day to day.
In related news, responding to a motion presented by UNP MP Buddhika Pathirana, Minister of Home Affairs Vajirabe Wardana today announced that a certificate of absentia would be provided for those who have been reported missing as a replacement to the death certificate.
Sri Lanka bhumiya thula.
How would you issue a death certificate for the singular Tamil Muslim persons and others who were reported missing in the country? If these missing persons return, what action would be taken if benefits were obtained from the previously issued certificates?
ඕව එළවාගත්ත වරප්‍රසාද වෙන්නේ. මොකක්ද ගන්න ක්‍රියාමාර්ගය? එවැනි අය විශාල ප්‍රමාණයක් ලංකාවේ විසෙනවා.
There are many such persons in the country at a time when the relatives do not accept that the individual is deceased. Under Section 110 of the Registration of Persons Act, we have proposed the Cabinet to introduce a certificate of absentia.
නොදුටු සහතික ලබා දීමේ ක්‍රමවේදය.
President's Counsel Jayantha Jayasuriya, who was appointed as the 29th Attorney General of Sri Lanka, assumed duties today at the AG's department in Havstop.
The new Attorney General assumed duties at the auspicious time of 10:30 a.m. Senior officials of the AG's department joined in welcoming Attorney General Jayantha Jayasuriya. Before his appointment as AG, Jayantha Jayasuriya served as Senior Additional Solicitor General.
The website for the publication consultation process for the design of reconciliation mechanisms was launched in Jaffna today.
And why they should be kept for years together.
The launch, which was held at the Jaffna District Secretariat, was attended by Minister of Foreign Affairs Mangala Samaravira and Defence Secretary Karunasena Hettiarachchi.
We are starting this process of national reconciliation. As President said in his speech on the 4th of February, not to appease international pressure or to keep, as some have said, the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, Prince Zaid, happy. We are embarking on this difficult journey because we owe it to the people of our nation to forge a new future where all citizens will be treated with equal dignity and respect so that the country can be truly united and move forward. Today, bankrupt politicians as well as the ghosts of extremism here in the north are again trying to stir up the people's passion and, as all scoundrels do, to whipping up racism in order to take their bankrupt projects forward both in the north and in the south. At this critical juncture, all moderates must unite so that Sri Lanka can at least have the future it truly deserves as a multi-religious, multi-ethnic, multilingual and multicultural country with peace and prosperity.
As you know, there are commitments made by the government of Sri Lanka to the world and to us as to how this process should proceed, and we will cooperate with the government of Sri Lanka. At the same time, we will also look to see on the people's behalf whether those commitments are being met.
Have we forgotten? The conduct of MPV Mahavira, who is a public representative against the United Nations organization at several occasions, caught the attention of both local and international media. In 2010, he initiated a demonstration against the United Nations, and on the 6th of that month, he organized a protest march. He also protested opposite the UN compound in Sri Lanka by setting a dummy of the UN Secretary General on fire. Later he commenced a fast until death and called off the fast only after former President Mahinda Rajapaksa arrived to inquire into his well-being. When the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights Navanithan Pillai arrived in Sri Lanka in the year 2013, the conduct of Vimal Weerawangsa changed. Vimal Weerawangsa participated in a demonstration in Thumulla to voice his objection against the arrival of Prince Zaid Al Hussein. Another incident which caught the attention of the media was when Vimal Weerawangsa provided free houses to his relatives when he was the Minister of Housing. It was revealed in Parliament on the 22nd of October 2015 that he had given houses to his nephew's wife, his sister's son-in-law, his two brother-in-laws and his sister-in-law. Vimal Weerawangsa was arrested over an incident for using a false passport, and it was mentioned in Parliament that the Prime Minister had intervened to secure his release. This is the manner in which MP Vimal Weerawangsa acted on the 9th of this month in Parliament. Promise made on the introduction of a new code of ethics for MPs by the Government of Good Governance is yet to be fulfilled. I am surprised over the passport allegations against Vimal Weerawangsa and Kumar Gunaratnam. However, Kumar Gunaratnam is still in remand custody. The leader of the House says that the Prime Minister personally intervened to secure the release of Vimal Weerawangsa. So is Vimal Weerawangsa undertaking the contract of Ranil Wickremesinghe to split the Sri Lanka Freedom Party? Look at his behaviour in Parliament. Look at the threats he makes to the police near courts. It appears that Ranil Wickremesinghe has a special program for Vimal Weerawangsa. We are not surprised of his conduct and the whole nation is aware of it. He follows a double policy. He acts like in a Tamil film where one throws a 10 rupee coin into the chair, attacks around 10 persons and put the coin back in the pocket. Have we forgotten?
A media briefing on the 50th anniversary celebrations of Sri Lanka tourism took place in Colombo today under the auspices of Minister of Tourism Development and Christian Religious Affairs John Amarathunga.
We are now focusing forward as an industry in Sri Lanka to be the foremost foreign exchange earner. I think day in and day out you will see in the press and in the articles that is where we are heading for. To be the highest foreign exchange earner for this country, and that is not impossible at the speed that we are developing. It's a private sector approach, facilitated and regulated by the ministry. Those are our contributions towards the industry. One complaint most tourists who come to Sri Lanka say there are insufficient events in Sri Lanka. Now we are focusing how to improve in that direction. Now the latest improvement of events or looking at events is we are thinking of sports tourism. There is going to be a wide range of sports tourism in Sri Lanka.
The 34th session of the Asia-Pacific Fishery Commission took place in Colombo today under the auspices of Minister of Fisheries Mahinda Mahavira.
The session, which will be held till the industry.
Though there has been a steady growth in inland capture fisheries in Sri Lanka, our aquaculture activities are still in the infant state of development, and we need to obtain and use appropriate technologies, introduce new and non-traditional species, allocate more state resources towards its promotion and expansion, and attract more investors into aquaculture by adopting investor-friendly policies. We are also planning to launch a new program called Vabaksama Gama for the development of villages associated with inland water bodies of coastal lagoons. I would like to request from the countries which are in the advanced stage of development in aquaculture and extend their hand friendship and assistance to Sri Lanka.
Several specialists and investors of the fisheries industry of 21 countries participated in the session.
The Department of Coast Conservation today took measures to remove unauthorized constructions along the coastline of Vellavata.
Illegal constructions on the coastal area from the Vellavata bridge to Mount Lavinia were thus removed today. The process took place under the protection of the police special task force. A tense situation arose between the locals who were against the demolition of their constructions and the officers of the Department of Coast Conservation. Ours are poorly made sheds when compared to the others. All the other constructions have walls while ours made of wood. The director of the Department of Coast Conservation said that these persons were given prior notice of the removal of their constructions. However, the locals charged that they did not receive any such information. We were not informed. I have been working as a fisherman for over 5 years. We voted and we did not expect any of this. They did not inform anyone and at once came here and demolished the constructions. We are helpless. We seek some form of relief.
We have been staying here for over 25 years. These coconut trees were planted by us. If these constructions are removed, these coconut trees will also be of no use to them. They did not allow us to do anything. They took our votes and came to our houses seeking the votes. After the election, they do not even look into our lives.
According to the Coast Conservation Act, invading the coast and setting up unauthorized constructions is completely legal. Therefore, we have decided to remove 12 such unauthorized constructions. According to the Coast Conservation Act, the Director General has the right to remove any illegal construction without a court order if the owner does not remove it, even after being notified of it.
A van caught fire along the Velipanna-Dodamgoda stretch of the Southern Expressway this afternoon. The van caught fire near the 39th post. The fire was doused by the fire brigade of the expressway and the cause of the fire is yet to be ascertained.
V Awards 2015 is set to take place at the Nelumpokuna Mahinda Rajapaksa Theatre tomorrow.
The final preparations are underway to host V Awards 2015, a project to recognize individuals who make extraordinary and selfless contributions to society at large and reward the most outstanding volunteer at a national level. V Awards began in 2011 as a joint venture between the National Steering Committee for Volunteerism and Newsfirst to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the International Year of Volunteers of Sri Lanka. One winner will be selected tomorrow from among the group of finalists who have rendered a great voluntary service.
V Awards 2015 or the Volunteer Oscars are going to be held right here at the Nelumpokuna Theatre at 5 p.m. Tomorrow onwards on CCTV as well as TV1. I invite everyone at home to watch us live on TV1 as well as CCTV. All arrangements have now been made for the Volunteer Oscars. The event, of course, is being organized by Newsfirst together with UN volunteers. Come join us tomorrow and see who will be crowned as the next Volunteer of the Year in Sri Lanka.
Bavatarana, Devinda Kongahage's first film direction, which won Best Film at the 4th Delhi International Film Festival, had its first Sri Lankan screening recently.
Bavatarana sees Devinda Kohungage playing the role of a director of a film for the first time. The film is based on the research book of Professor Lona Devaraja titled The Upcountry Throne. The film was adjudged the best film at the Delhi International Film Festival, which saw over 219 entries from the United States of America, Germany, India, Korea, Egypt and several others. In this film, the main characters are portrayed by Malini Fonseca and several others.
Normally what we do is we tend to go by the tide. So my main reason was not to go by the tide. Let me try something different in the field which is being practiced frequently. So I wanted to do something novel or something different than the others. That's it, simply why I touched Bavatarana.
Devinder also commented on his movie being adjudged the best movie at the Delhi International Film Festival.
Yeah, what I feel is all our efforts for a period which we tire ourselves for maybe 4 years or more has been admired, commended internationally, and I consider this as not as an award for Bavatarana alone. We bridge Sri Lanka and the International Cinema Forum tightly.
Internationally proclaimed artists and film directors to express their views on the movie Bavatarana.
Bavatar won on Delhi International Film Festival. It's not a small thing. I think it's a very important thing, not just for Devinder. It's for Sri Lanka and for Sri Lanka's film industry, all filmmakers.
Very brave of him. He's a young filmmaker, and to make a film like that, it's honorable for the countries, for the people, and for the new generation.
It was a very heartening feeling to see this kind of a film emerging out of Sri Lanka. Devinder is a wonderfully talented director, a young director coming out of Sri Lanka, and we all welcome this emergence of a new talent. And I hope his films will travel across the world, and he will be able to put Sri Lanka on the global map of cinema.
It's a different film. This film won the award in India after 53 years. Devinder Kongahage is a way. Open that door in Sri Lanka for the new cinema, for the new generation.
सर ये फिल्म बहुत अच्छी है और दिस इज वेरी गुड मूवी. अगर जूरी इसको सिलेक्ट करती है तो शायद ये फिल्म अवार्ड के लिए भी जा सकती है.
In news from the South Asian Games, Sri Lanka's marathon champion clinched the silver medal in the men's category with a timing of 2 hours 15 minutes and 19 seconds on the 8th day of the 12th South Asian Games. Sports First, Nadishan Meedin filed this report from India.
Cold weather took over the proceedings of the South Asian Games in India. Anuradha Indrajit was leading ahead of Indian runner Nitendra Singh in the final stage of the race. It is so disappointing. I ran 42 kilometers to somehow win the gold medal for Sri Lanka. When considering the time, winning the event was not difficult. You might have seen that only in the last 5 meters of the 42 kilometers I was behind. No one was running, and that was a good moment to run. And that is why I ran in front, so I thought that I'd get to win easily. So I finally attempted to fall onto the track and run the final 200 meters. However, the race ended with only 100 meters to go. However, owing to the carelessness and misguided instructions of the organizers, Anuradha was not able to finish the race as planned. The Indian runner won gold, but he went on to prove the true nature of sportsmanship.
I know that Anuradha is the best because his personal best is 13 and my 215. So yeah, I thought that one lap is more than this because there is no winning tape. So in full marathon, we always need a winning tape. That's why only it's a little bit confusing here.
Sri Lankan paceman Thisara Perera bagged a hat-trick in the second T20 against India today. Batting first, India posted 196 runs for the loss of 6 wickets in their 20 overs.
Well, with that, we wrap up primetime news at 9 tonight. I'm Stephanie Lazarus.
And I'm Sten Silva. Take care and good night.